fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada at WCOBM.com, the World Center of Broadcast Media. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am the managing member of Classic Communications, a full-service public relations and advertising firm. We bring greater recognition to businesses and organizations and individuals through traditional public relations activities. And if you want more information about Classy Communications, please get in contact with me at 702-845-6129, or you can visit our website, classycommunications.net. Super excited to be bringing you another edition of the Guy Dawson Show. I have two young entrepreneurs in the studio today. Well, Kyle, I guess you're not actually, I guess you're an entrepreneur of hope. Kyle Dunlap is with
Good way to put it.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Las Vegas, and he's going to be talking about the way that his organization helps the youth of Nevada, an amazing organization that's been around for a long time and helped out a lot of people. And to my right is truly a young entrepreneur, and his name is Kelvin Alston. He is the owner of ABC Consulting, and he's also big in the cheerleading industry. What's the name of the cheerleading company that you run?
That's ASMT Cheer Academy.
Wonderful. So I have two of Las Vegas's most influential young men in the studio today, and we're just going to talk about things on, I guess, at a lot of fronts. Maybe we'll start with you, Kyle. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. How did you get involved?
So about 3 years ago, one of my buddies from college from the East Coast, who'd been a Big Brother in the Boston area for a number of years, came out here when just after I had moved to Vegas, and he'd been pushing for me to get involved and volunteer, and I'd always volunteered on the East Coast, where I grew up, and he came out for a bachelor party. I remember the night we were hanging out before all of his friends got together, and he's like, you know what, I actually looked up and found a local agency, a local Big Brothers Big Sisters chapter, and you should get involved. He's like, dude, it's 4 hours a month, that's all it takes. And that was a kicker for me. I said, I've been holding off for such a long time because I thought it was a big time commitment. I thought I'd have to be paired with a child and see him every day and tutor him. I was kind of deterred by that. But as soon as he said, it's truly 4 hours a month, and with that 4 hours a month, you can make a difference, I looked up information the next day, applied, became a Big Brother. Because there was such a high need of guys to volunteer, I became a Big within a number of weeks. And the rest is history. I started working for them actually about a year after that. So I've been with them on board professionally for about 2 years, and my role is essentially PR, marketing, community outreach, volunteer recruitment, looking for more Big Brothers and Big Sisters out there. So that's how I got involved, and never been happier.
The interest that you had in this, does it come from something that you did? Did you have a mentor in your life who was influential?
Yes, actually, great question. So in high school, my parents got divorced. Which is a pretty common trend, especially nowadays and in Las Vegas, unfortunately. And so I didn't really have a positive male adult role model in my life. It was my brother and I, who's younger than me, and my mom, who did a great job raising us. Worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat, but wasn't around as much as we needed. So I got involved in the local church youth group in my town, a small town in Massachusetts called Westboro, and became pretty heavily involved. And the leader, his name is Rich Lord, took me under his wing, and he took me to sushi every single Friday night for almost 2 years, and that was something that I looked forward to. A guy that I looked forward to, very successful. He worked for Staples at the time, and he was a buyer, so he traveled internationally. He taught me how to use chopsticks. He taught me a little bit of Japanese every time we went out every Friday, and that was something transformational that showed me that somebody, just one individual, can make a difference in a young person's life. And when I moved out here, obviously as I said, my friend was pushing me for some time, and finally determined I was ready to give back in the same capacity that Rich was in my life. So that's what truly inspired me to become involved.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about, is when you are having the opportunity as a young person to be mentored, you sort of have an obligation to turn around and be a mentor later in life. And Kelvin, I guess the two of you operate as mentors in a in a different way and yet in a very similar way. And you with working with all the cheerleaders, how long have you been involved in that?
Man, I've been coaching for close to 17 years, and I tell you, every day is a new experience, and you learn a little something from every student you get to work with. And I definitely relate, to what you're saying. We have such a big impact in these kids' lives, and just like I look up to my coach John, who was my first gymnastics coach when I was 10 years old, and I'll never forget Coach John and what influences and the impact he had on me, and I hope that I get to do that for other students as well.
Mm-hmm.
But cheerleading, boy, that I learned a lot about cheerleading. Like I've told you before, I was doing the jams event. I was working as a stagehand, and I was running a spotlight, and I had never really thought about how involved people get in cheerleading, but a huge industry.
Oh, it's a huge industry, and it's just growing and growing. And you have school cheerleading, and you also have all-star competition cheerleading, and I feel both industries are growing.
And so you get to watch as these young people come through and become more confident and become leaders actually as they develop skills in cheerleading.
Most definitely. And our biggest thing is, taking cheerleaders from elementary and helping them to make their junior high team and then their high school and college. And one of our key, I would say, acronyms is STARS. And S is spirit, T, teamwork, A, attitude, R, respect. And if you do all those things, S, you will be successful.
And in 17 years of being involved in cheer, I bet you have seen people literally start at very young ages, because I know I've been to your gym and you see these little girls there. They're 4 years old.
We start at 5 years old, and we actually have an adult team. So there's a shout out.
Would-be cheerleaders out there, call the chat line. You
That
could
sounds pretty
be
fun.
65 years old and still become a cheerleader.
And
You
I'm
still
not
got
going
a
to
shot.
say the exact number, but we do have Julio. We have in the 40s. Appreciate you, man. You're staying young out there.
Wow, he's a 40-year-old cheerleader.
Yep, adult team. They enjoy
That's
it.
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Any big brothers and big sisters out there looking for a great match activity? That sounds pretty fun. I might have to take my little brother there too.
Right? That would be
Right.
just a good field trip anyway.
Absolutely.
Just to bring the kids to the gym and play dodgeball, and there's
cool.
obstacle courses, and that would be really fun.
It's a great opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. You just never know how
Thanks for
you
the-
might put something
thanks for the
together.
plug.
But
Yes.
it's I was just sitting here and thinking about how similar the two of you are in that you're influencing the lives of others through mentoring. And I'm a really big person when it comes to mentoring, taking people under your wings. And I've had a lot of great mentors over the course of my life. I think it's a very underrated aspect of our world nowadays. Back in earlier days, you always had that as part of, say, the trades. So you were a construction worker, you took an apprentice under your wing and trained them until they learned the trade. In our world now, you very rarely hear about that. You very rarely hear us about a mentor or a mentee relationship. So you guys are both involved in something that I think is very important to society. By the way, the chat lines are open if you want to call in and ask anything. Call in. I do radio and I do television, so I have this shift that I'm constantly.
Good crossover.
You can hit the chat line and type in and be a part of our conversation today.
Cool.
Mentoring and young people. Both of you are spending a lot of time with young people and the things that you do. Are kids really any different now than they? I mean, everyone says that they are, and I think every generation has always said that. These new kids, they're so different. I don't think people are really all that different than they were. It's just more technology, right?
I would say more technology and the fact that they always want some sort of screen in their face. So they're truly happy when they're in front of a cell phone or a tablet or a smartphone or a video game. So, obviously that's very valuable. There are certainly a lot of valuable educational tools that technology has enabled and brought to our younger generations. But big component that I like to focus on with my little brother, for example, is just getting him outside. And he's the youngest of 4 siblings, very busy, chaotic home environment. Mom works 2 jobs, is rarely home. So they're just stuck at home all the time. So when I come over, I'll take him out to the park. We'll go to hiking at Red Rock and just get out there and experience nature and not looking at the phone the whole time. We're looking at the environments around us. And that's something rare that kids don't have.
And we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll get back, Kyle, and we're going to talk more about your experiences with young people.